His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
I see in the next few months a nicer country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
Mr. President, recently we witnessed the demolition of the CDC headquarters in Connaught Town, which was carried out through a court order. How does the administration ensure that such enforcement action are done fairly and without political interference?
The law is the law. It's not the government. It's the government implementation of the law. The police were ordered to do it, and they did it. Is that demolition is removal of the people from premises that don't belong to them according to the law.
Why will George Weah, who is tempted by Joseph Boakai, who was drowning in his Egypt land, who was dead, very red up, dirty, stink, you could find him passing around, particularly dead and useless. Why will such a man conduct make you Weah vex that you will struck the work and then lose God's own mission to take you to the promised land? That was the test of time today for George Weah. If George Weah had reacted, he would have fallen in the place of Moses.
The Liberian National Police commenced the Congress for Democratic Change for the discipline, calm, and statesmanship demonstrated during the recent eviction process. Their respect for the rule of law, despite the deep sentimental value and history attached to the property, reflects a maturity that strengthens Liberia's democracy. This movement is not only a testament to CDC's leadership, but also a reminder to all political institutions and citizens that our democracy grows stronger when lawful decisions are honored peacefully.
Today, you have a rebel police director who thinks that he has arrived And the worst thing about all these people, they all benefited from the magnanimity of George Weah. Ranging from people on the bench of the Supreme Court, they got letters from George Weah. If some of them choose to pay him back with evil, it's up to them. The very beggar come out today. He worked in the previous administration when Weah came. He also got another letter again. If he chooses to do what he's doing, it's up to him. But one thing I can tell you for sure is this is how we had always been molded. That's how God has already molded Weah and catapult him into success. He will suffer rejection, denigration, humiliation. That has been his life. How can you make somebody who has been down the line their shame? The person has gone through shame. They have gone through disgrace. They have done everything they can. Whatever people thought and were laughing at them, they surmount everything and catapult themselves into becoming someone who is towering that the whole world can look at today. What more can you do? You think you're bringing that person down? You're just hurting yourself. In fact, what you are doing, you are destroying yourself. You know what it takes for you to proud in yourself of being bad? When people are looking for good image, you are happy in becoming a bad person. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. Bad person, George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. He would never, ever.
This government assigned security to the former president's house. This government is capable of bribing any of its security to plan any evil in the former president's house. This government has done so many things that have questioned the credibility of the president. They have manipulated the law. They have manipulated security. The president has interfered with investigations of other issues that we know of. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. No of. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. Nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. Nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. Cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example. If a former president, the police should go there to verify. Let them come out and say that it happened to President Weah house. It is not party chairman house. It is not speaker house. It's not NSA director house. It is the house of the man who was just the chief executive of the country. It is the house of the man who was just president of the Republic of Liberia. We are talking about someone who held the mantle of the country.
These things could happen behind the scenes. So I supported Joseph Parker, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired. Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he could have a good heart, everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him pamper. Every day I gotta buy a pamper. There's a man who bought me pamper before. I'm buying pamper now because the time has reached. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he said, he said, when you run for one term, he said it. I agree with him. 2023, no, I disagree. In my mind, he should rest, find somebody else. These things could happen behind the scenes. So I supported Joseph Parker, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired. Okay. Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he could have a good heart, everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him pamper. Every day I gotta buy a pamper. There's a man who bought me pamper before. I'm buying pamper now because the time has reached. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he said he said, when you run for one term, he said it. I agree with him. 2023, no, I disagree.
In my mind, he should rest, find somebody else. These things could happen behind the scenes. So I supported Joseph Boakai, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired. Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he could have a good heart, everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him pamper. Every day I gotta buy a pamper. There's a man who bought me pamper before. I'm buying pamper now because the time has reached.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happen in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country, as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Of acknowledging God, the creator and sustainer of the universe, who keeps watch over everyone every day, and the God who is hovering Kings 88.5 and everyone. We are grateful, having kept watch over us last night. He has brought us into this day again to make his culture, his society better. It's an obligation, not a privilege, not an opportunity, not a choice, but an obligation given by God to make his society better, irrespective of those who are blocking progress. He deals with them with time, but we are on an obligation to play our part. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate all of you, good people. Hope that you are faring well. Yes, you are, as evident by your presence with us this afternoon. Emmanuel Fayam, Marshall Highway, Philip Kura, Dubai, UAE, Jack Foley Tombikai, Broville, Bible College Junction, Gate, Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism. Gate, there where you are, I hope that they won't have problem with you because the same thing they accuse the past government of, they are doing everything the same. So when you are falling from the information ministry, I hope that you are in your catacomb, just as the Romans under the reign of Emperor Heisico Nexus. Yes. And so they will go into the catacomb under Emperor Nero. They'll go into the catacomb so that sun will come out. Jack Foley, Gate, hope that they wouldn't have problem with you. You are falling from the Ministry of Information. The boss there is emotional, quick to get vexed, quick to take action, very temperamental. Divine Folly, Banjo, here, that's Beverly Hill First Street, you said. Banjo, Monba Jogba, Malu Fofana, 20th Street Sinka, Boakai Zoldua, Mecklin Street, Waterside, Papi Keita, Dupont Road, Emmanuel, Copper, Bapin Pauli, Johnsonville, Anthony Rogers, Pennsylvania, Painesville, Benson Devio Victor, and Stanley Boatsoul, Emmanuel T. Copper, Johnsonville Township, Thomas Blamo, Mount Barclay Copper Farm, Venetians Bar, Junion Borough of Newcrewtown, Claudia Ducor, Heron T. Toll, Junion Caldwell, Elizabeth A. Thomas, Waterside, Emmanuel Queer, Dividend Town, Harris City, Caldwell, New Georgia, Grace Corner, Terrain Community, you said. Fifth Kelvin, Bappin, Nima United, McKemin, D. Harris, Massachusetts, Boston, USA, Othello King, Amara Kamara, Brussels, Belgium, Massare, Abdullah, JJY, William K. Wooler, the official spokesperson, okay, Caldwell, Civil Rights Movement, Quillen Banks, Moulton Corner, Braville, Paris, Slobart, New Jersey, USA, Julius M. Saka, Juan Momolo, Gale Street Business Center, Usman Salt, the same place, Patricia Zia, your office, that's Gabriel Lawson, Iron Factory, your business center, Jackson C. Pony, Iron Factory, Block C Community, Epinetox, Gadi, you are on. Washington, George, Dividend Town. Yes, okay. My dear sister is on. Good to have you on. Oritos on the way choir, you are on. Who else? The chairman. Okay, the chairman has just come on. The chairman has just come on. Romancio Latupan, Roman Rico Latupan, Kenneth Boy, or Rico for short. The melting pot. The chairman that cuts across. You always want to be in the presence of the chairman. You never regret it. You people have the privilege to reach out to the chairman. Chairman Rico. Yeah. Hey, my dear sister, tell me, it's been a long while, man. You Motro, Kringa Asaidu Menza. Good to see you. It's been a very, very long time. You mature, I say do, Menza. Good to have you on. Thank you. It's good that we've connected again. Okay, Joyce Wem, you are on. Good to have all of you people on. Orita Sunday Way Choir, you are on there from Delaware. Thank you all. So, today is Tuesday in Liberia. Tuesday, the Republic of Liberia. The Republic of Liberia, where Joseph Yaman Boakai reigns as president of this country, and where the former president, most popular figure, most popular human being in Liberia, the standard bearer of the Congress of Democratic Change and global icon, the man who is maintaining the peace, stability, and security of this country, God first. He's second. He also in this country. Yeah. So it's a great day. Good day. All right. The King Support Basket, please, is still open. The King Support Basket will still need you. You've been with us. Cecilia Massacre, it's been a little while, but good to have you back, Cici. Yes, thank you for coming on, Cecilia Massacre. I know you've been busy. The King Support Basket is still open. It's deep in one. Please drop at will, anytime, whichever, however, but just do and just drop your kindness, your goodwill, your seed, or whatever. That would be good. They send with 0555 885 885 0555 885 885. The orange number, local mobile money number, 0777 017 885. So also today is Tuesday, so we're giving out 5,000 from our partners through us to you. The King's Cash giveaway is 5,000. Yes, today is Tuesday. Our partners through us is giving you some dollars that you can win. It's giving you some dollars. And bag of rice, cell phone. Yes. All right. So you'll get the detail as we go on. Let's get ready, get started with events unfolding first out of Liberia. Then we get to our country. Then at 4 o'clock, we talk all things politics with Liberian politician God's help. The military commander who has ruled Guinea since a coup 4 years ago has entered the presidential race ahead of next month's election, breaking an earlier promise to hand over power to a civilian government. General Mamadi Doumbouya submitted his candidacy at the Supreme Court on Monday, flanked by soldiers and wearing black sunglasses. He did not make any public comment. Two of Guinea's biggest opposition parties, RPG, ARC, ENCL, and UFDG, have been excluded from December's context. This has raised concerns about the election credibility. Guineans had reacted with shock last month when it was announced that presidential candidates would need to pay a deposit of 875 Guinean franc or money, which is 1,000 United States dollars, to contest the election. While the previous deposit was almost as high as 800 million francs, some analysts had hoped it would be reduced to encourage more people to stand in the historic election. 4 years ago, General Doumbouya pledged to hand power back to civilians. The election is being held under a new constitution that allowed General Doumbouya to run for presidency. Under his rule, the Guinean authorities have been cracking down on peaceful dissent, including attempts to mobilize people towards a return to democratic rule. The junta has been criticized for suspending media outlets, restricting internet access, and brutally suppressing demonstrations. Yet, General Doumbouya justified deposing then 83-year-old President Alpha Condé on similar charges, including rampant corruption, disregard for human rights, and economic mismanagement. Prior to seizing power in the 2021 coup, General Doumbouya was a middle-ranking soldier. His 15-year military career includes missions in Afghanistan, Ivory Coast, Djibouti, Central African Republic, and a close protection in Israel, Cyprus, the UK, and Guinea. Age 40, he is currently one of the youngest, if not the youngest, African heads of state. The Ghana Navy has arrested 10 Nigerians who were found on a Panamanian ship called MV Grand Venus at Tema Port, Ghana's main seaport. According to the Ghana Armed Forces, the arrest happened about 8 miles from Tema after the ship sent a distress call. Early investigation showed that the suspects had secretly boarded the ship while it was at Lagos Port in Nigeria. The Navy took the ship to Tema Harbor, located about 25 kilometers east of Accra, Ghana's capital, where the suspects were handed over to the port control, the Ghana Immigration Service, and the Marine Police for more checks. The armed forces said more information will be shared as the investigations continue. Still in Ghana, the President John Dramani Mahama has proposed a new initiative to unite West African countries against violent extremism in the Sahel, describing instability as spreading cancer. During talks in Accra with German President, Mohamed called for a broader security framework involving both ECOWAS and non-ECOWAS countries, noting that regional coordination has weakened since Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso withdrew from ECOWAS. The German president commended Ghana's diplomatic leadership and reaffirmed Germany's support for regional counterterrorism efforts. The two leaders also discussed migration, skills development, and climate action, with John Dramani Mahama advocating for legal migration pathways for skilled Ghanaian workers. China, after U.S. President Donald Trump threatened possible military action over alleged persecution of Christians, emphasizing support for President Bola Tinubu's government, Beijing acknowledged Nigeria's development efforts and opposed using religion and human rights as justifications for external involvement. The statement came in response to Donald Trump's designation of Nigeria as a country of popular concern over claims of religious persecution. And that will take us as the last development on the show out of Liberia, what is being referred to as Christian genocide in Nigeria. The situation is tense. People are living in fear. Bishop Oregon, one of those who experienced terrible time with his church and Christians, share his experience on how his church was hit several times and Christians were killed on large scales. He spoke to the BBC.
On the 5th of June, 2022, which was the Pentecost Sunday, a group of terrorists came to St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church in Owo, in Ondo State, in Nigeria, to attack the church just immediately after the Mass. And they ended up killing 41 people and wounding more than 100 people. They bombed the church, they shot at people, and they went away. And well, what we have been hearing from government is that they have arrested about 4 or 5 of them. But to this day, we have not had a day in court.
And what do the authorities say about who these individuals are?
Well, they said they are members of the ISWAP group, Islamic State of West African Province. And they came to the Catholic Church to commit this crime. And the authority have not been able to do anything. They have not said anything apart from the fact that they are preparing to take these guys to court. There was a time they told us that the proceeding we begin. I think that was on the 12th or so of September. But we're told that the judge was not available and that they will get back to us when they will be able to invite us to the court. That has been the story for the past 3 years, and we have not really had anything.
And how is the diocese recovering from that attack?
Well, thanks to all my friends and fellow Catholics and Christians all over the world who have been the outpouring of love and care and donations, and we have taken care of so many members of the family. We have resettled many of them. Some of the victims, children, and breadwinners of families have been adequately catered to, especially the children who are still in school. We offer them scholarship, 5 years scholarship, and they are still in our scholarship program. People are still going in for surgery. We pay for their treatments, and we are still doing counseling and visiting the families. And St. Francis Church has reopened. I mean, we are back to their normal life, but the wound is still very deep. Still very deep.
So it'll be a long road of recovery for those who survived the attack.
If they will ever recover, because for people who lost a wife or a father or children or family members, it becomes a scar that cannot be healed. I don't know how they can heal from that, and especially that nothing has been done.
Bishop Oregon explaining his ordeal with the church. He pastored the Catholic Church in Nigeria that came under attack several times from the guys with arms, and that led Donald Trump to call for a possible military action there. All right. So the leaders are meeting. We'll bring that on tomorrow. Yes, but I don't think why it is true the United States was superpower, but you want to have some ethical standard and restriction and no limitation of just not imposing yourself on another sovereign country. Yes, but again, that's what happened when African leaders are not really together. All right, so here is it. We have to be careful. Some of the characteristics might happen in the 2029 presidential elections. Look at all of the countries: Cameroon, Uganda, Tanzania, Djibouti. Are you aware of what is happening on the presidential level? The decisions that are being taken just to stay on in power. Some of those characteristics might likely play in Liberia's 2029 elections. Hold on to that. Representative Yaka Koluba is pressing for the impeachment of the Supreme Court head, the Chief Justice, Yami Gbese. At 4 o'clock, we talk all things politics with God's. That will be at 4. So let's run through this. He accuses the Chief Justice of nepotism, corruption, threats to democracy, judicial misconduct, and constitutional sabotage. This is his right. He has every reason. Once the facts are available, once you can have the facts, the truth, backed by the reality, and have the backing, the constitutional number, which precedes the support on the floor from his colleagues. But he made it clear in his document, those are substantial issues, those are evidence-based, the reality support everything in his document, which he will be submitting, and he will have the support of his colleagues. He will rally his colleagues' support to get the required number to remove Chief Justice Yami Gbese. That's it. CDC accountability, they've announced that they will be giving a full report of the due payment from the very start of the due payment. When was that? April 12th. April 12th. That was April 12th. They started the due payment on April 12th. The party's chairman, Anthony at Law Janga Cole, made it clear that in the coming days, they will give a full report of the due payment. It will be released for the public to see, receive, read, digest, and criticize, meaning examine it. That's what it is, according to the party's chairman, Janga Cole. All of you who pay your due, your name will reflect. If you didn't pay your due, your name wouldn't reflect. It is a roster, or it's going to be a roster. It's for accountability, transparency. Unity Party doesn't give account of anything. From the president down, they are corrupt. They shield or defend of accountability, even though they say no business as usual. So the party CDC chairman said they will be giving a full report about the due payment from the start date, April 12th, to the close date, so that everyone will have an understanding. December 7 protest is underway. December 7 protest is underway. Everything is falling in place. It is gaining momentum. The steam is hot. I can encourage you to be a part of it. It is not wrong. It is not a war. It is not against the government. No, it is constitutional. It is a key democratic tenet. It is the norm all over the world. When I say the norm, because the Constitution provides for that, no government can suppress that, except that government is dictatorial, that tyrannical, despotic, tyrannic. But if that government is democratic, if the president is democratic, he allows that. December 17, lead or resign. Lead or resign. The president will have to, the president is just not leading right. He knows that himself. He isn't leading right. Too many anomalies in his administration, in his government. And I think one of the reasons he is encountering all of these problems because he bragged. In the past, he portrayed himself as knowing it all, and if he got the opportunity, which he was fighting for, he would have made a difference. Unfortunately, he is just on the same plane as the accusation he brought. So he is an irony of himself. Now, stand, solidarity, and trust for New Day has made it evidently clear. December 17 and December 17, dry season. We're in dry season already now. Today is November 4th. We're in dry season. So no one will say, oh, we're hoping the rain will come down like they did with previous protests. Oh, you see on the side, small people, and they say they can poor people. That dry season. And 60 to 70%, or if that ratio is high, let's put it at 50% comfortable with this government. And the government is increasing that ratio every day. Between now and December, they cannot do anything to change the people's mind. They've destroyed their houses. They've displaced them. They are now living shattered lives. On top of it, abject poverty. The World Bank released a report of poverty. The U.S. Business Climate Report, the World Bank, the African Development Bank, Adesina stood before President Bouhaka and all of his people and told them that the country is in poverty. And no reason why Liberia will be in such a debilitating state politically when the country has all of the natural resources. No reason why this country should not be at a level that other African countries will feed on it. So things are just going haywire for the government. The people are thirsty, they are angry, and you have to show that protest is nothing bad. Protest, it simply means to express yourself. What do you see me doing? Right now, I am protesting. I am talking about things that the government isn't doing that the government ought to do. I am protesting, meaning I'm expressing my grievances. I am giving a criticism. That's what protest is. Protest simply means a statement. So you hear the phrase or the cliche, present our petition, receive our petition, meaning a statement. You can protest when there is a disagreement, and the little girl can look at her mother and say, no, mama, this one is not right. You should not have done it. She is protesting, meaning she is expressing herself. Protest isn't wrong. When the wife disagrees with the husband, she expresses herself. She is protesting, meaning she's opting for change. When the man disagrees with the wife, presenting his position, he is opting for a change. That is a protest. It simply means to express yourself, to put forth your concern. But only dictatorial, tyrannical leader wouldn't want it. So that's what you saw Unity Party people doing all around. They say, oh no, protests will bring war. They were preaching more early than all over the place. Oh, they would do this when yesterday they were inciting people. They were justifying. They were defending, based on the Constitution, that it was their right to demonstrate, to protest. So it is your right today. Turn out in mass, the same way we encourage you July 17, and you did, do the same. Change isn't on a silver platter. Change isn't a walk in the park. No, it goes with all kinds of stuff. Resistance will come in it first, followed by other things, persuading, discouraging through different means. Don't see it as being on a silver platter. Nothing going to happen to you. I'm just telling you that life as a whole, with change, is never on a silver platter. Build up the courage. No one can change your condition than yourself. No one can speak to Mr. President for you than yourself. You do that by coming out, and coming out in mass. The only thing I beg you, I hold you for, I take God to beg you, when you come out in mass, in your thousands and tens of thousands, I beg you, you don't yell. Yeah, you don't yell, because when you yell, Mr. President will go off. You know, the man get pressure, and you know the man's condition. So when you come out in your tens of thousands, you don't yell. You're here? I beg you. Okay. My guest is already in. So let's take a few calls. Then we can move on to the discussion. Let's just take a few calls. 0772 2399 0777 9803 75. Just a few calls. Then William K. Willow, thank you for coming on from New York, Staten Island. Great. Hope that you are doing good. Just a few calls. 0772 2399 33 0777. The women's line 0777 9803 75. Then we shaved. Where is my guy? Where is my guy? Where is my guy? Where is my guy? Let's go. If not, then we get to the conversation. Where is my guy? Yeah, so you don't yell. You turn out in mass, but nobody should yell, because when you yell, Mr. President will go off. I'm not sure Mr. President will contest 2029. I am not sure Mr. President will contest 2029. His people are saying that he's ready. He's in a good bill of health. He will defeat former President George Weah at the ballot. Nobody will be available to defeat George Weah than Joseph Yeman Boakai. All of us want that, but let's face up to the reality. Except Joseph Yeman Boakai wants to be like Paul Biya. And you guys have to take note. I hinted to you guys on it. All that you see happening with these African countries, the governance, how they are heavy-handed. They are using iron fists to hold onto power. They are barring the opposition, tampering with the internet, removing the age limit so they will stay on in power. All of those things. Now, I'm not saying that they are going to happen or Unity Party going to create those scenes, but some of those characteristics or some of those things might happen in the 2023 elections. Take it or leave it. When Unity Party tells you that George Weah will never come back to power, they're not saying that George Weah is incapable of beating them. They are telling you that they are unable to defeat George Weah. So they will use everything available to them to prevent him from contesting the election. Look at these African countries. Look what happened in Tanzania. And interestingly, the women, they are muted. They are muted. The ones who often criticize men are staying in power, don't want to leave power, they are muted. They can say anything. The lady, Samia, the lady is a dictator. The lady is evil incarnate. The lady installed herself. What happened in Tanzania wasn't an election. If you saw that as an election, then sorry to say, I disagree with you. That was coronation. That was coronation. It wasn't an election. An election is purely democracy. The participation of everybody, free, fair context. When the opposition bar, when every other thing are stifled, and you alone, then how is it? The party's chairman say, Unity Party chairman said they will stay in power for 200 years. You know what that means? They're telling you that they will do everything to prevent George Weah and the other strong opposition from contesting the election, and they will install Joseph Yeman Boakai as the president. But here is it. In my opinion, Boakai will not contest the 2029 elections. This break, then we get our guests to start the discussion. Hold on to that. Yes, but we aren't stupid at all. They want us. It's good that he said they want to make us feel, but they know that we know, and we know that they know. Okay, it's a nice one, nice one. Okay, so we are just 2 months away for 2026. The National Elections Commission starts the preparation 2026, and then the political parties too will start. Some of them have started already. The Congress for Democratic Change isn't sitting. Things are working, as well as the other political institutions. The race is going to be very interesting. The field will be crowded, and I see different features in the 2029 elections, unlike the previous 2 or 3 elections we had. I see different features in this one. It's going to be very interesting, and we'll enjoy this. We'll enjoy this one. At the close of the day, George Weah will emerge as the president of the Republic of Liberia. Not so saying it is the reality. The evidence is there. People said Donald Trump, the citizens of the United States, Americans said Donald Trump was never coming back. They said Donald Trump damaged the economy. He placed the economy in the septic tank, just as Senator Dillon would say of George Weah. They said all kinds of stuff, but Donald Trump went back. Peter Mutharika, the people too, they said, oh, he messed the economy, he messed the country up, so he wasn't coming back. Peter Mutharika is back and they see, and several African countries we can reference. So no one has anybody's future. No one can determine the future. Only God can do that. So if you will say George Weah is not coming back to the presidency, well, you might likely not see George Weah ascendancy to the presidency, because God might not even want you to be here because you have evil intent. Okay, man. Time is of the essence. My guest is a Liberian politician. He is J. Augustus Help. Yes. Common citizen. He likes to be called also that way, common citizen. Is it George? We are common citizen. And common citizen is a good citizen. Yes, good title. Common citizen. It's better to be common citizen than elite citizen. Yeah. Okay, thank you ever so much for accepting our invite to come in to discuss all things the politics of Liberia vis-a-vis the future. Mr. Help.
Let me say thank you too, and it's good being back here, even though now under a new management, I see a lot of improvements, and I want to hail the management for taking the bold step to have the station up and running.
That's great. Thank you for the compliments. So, visa reciprocity or reciprocity visa extension, the first.
Yeah. So, visa extension. You know, I took a keen interest in this issue when it became a sing song of late. Same, the question we need to be asking us as a people, what is the benefit of over 5, nearly 6 million Liberians with this 3 years extension of the B1 and B2 visas that are being offered to Liberia? Those are my concerns. Number one, the B1 is for business people, and the B2 is a tourism visa that can be you serve as a visiting visa too. Now, issuing a 3 years extension is not going to solve any problems for Liberia, because if you look at the amount of persons that have been given the privilege to enter the United States in years gone by on these visas, you come to realize that it is of insignificance to us as a people. Let me put us on record. 2023, just from July to December, 71 in July, 115 in August, 125 in September, 176 in October, 107 in November, and 133 in the month of December 2023 of our population. One thing we should take into consideration is the fact that the rejection as per the issuance of these visa cumulatively is much higher than acceptance. It's much higher than acceptance. So, after taking keen interest in it, I decided to make some more research. And I found out that the rejection for Liberia under these two visa categories under the period of 2023, 2024, and 2025 is 79.38% rejection. Is 79.38% rejection, which is an indication that a little under 30% is being accepted. Why is this fair about? More besides, these visas are not just given or issued free of charge. It comes with a cost. You want to pay $370 for the I-1 or 539, plus an additional $85 for biometric processing. So considering the high rate of rejection, one will realize that a whole lot is being lost in the process. Let me say for the record, Africa, which includes Liberia, suffered a $70 million loss because these fees are non-refundable. So Africa, which includes Liberia, suffered $70 million as a result of rejections between 2023 and 2024. So what is this noise about? First, I thought it was something that had to do with the TPS, which is a temporary protective stay, where immigrants or people living within the confines of the U.S. are given visa extension, which to a large extent is rewarding, given the fact that our brothers, our sisters, our friends that are living in the confines of the United States or territorial limits are going to be having a period to readjust themselves, something which gave back to our country in terms of remittances. Okay, I remember just after President Trump took over and this issue about deporting foreigners out of the United States came about, our president, who is celebrating this B1, B2 visa category, was on tape mocking Liberians by saying, you better come home and contribute to your country's nation building because you'll be there, Trump coming for you. And it didn't go down well with too many Liberians because, for one thing, the remittances that are being paid to Liberians on a yearly basis is one that helps to boost our GDP. And if that is anything to go by, then our president should not be the one who will be cheering when those kinds of messages are being preached.
Simply not much to cherish of this visa extension.
Certainly.
Not much.
That much.
That in this case, America profits or it benefits America more than Liberia.
Obviously.
Explain the reciprocity aspect that they put this thing on.
It's interesting. A Venezuelan who has been found wanting of going against the laws of the United States is set to be deported. His country of origin doesn't want him. Countries that America thought they could relate to host him refused. What does our country do? They present themselves. And this is what we are receiving in return. You do me one good, and I.
What is Liberia reciprocating? Because reciprocation is just like you say, I do, and you do in return. So what Liberia is reciprocating by that?
From what we have understood over the period is that Liberia is going to play host to this undesirable citizen that is going to be deported from the United States.
But reciprocity should benefit a country.
Obviously.
That's the main aim of reciprocity. It should make a difference in your life institutionally and individually.
Definitely. And we are seeing how you got a 3 years extension because we are going to host this Garcia fellow, and it does not affect our bread and butter issue by a tenth. Because considering the numbers, okay, let's look at 2024. The highest in 2024 for B1, B2 visas came in April with 141 Liberians benefiting. To close the year, it was 77 of such visas being issued. So I'm still wondering, to what extent is this affecting our population? How much business do Liberians carry out between the United States, between Liberia and the United States? What are the dividends that comes to the country? To what extent people are being affected in terms of dollars and cents? How many families are benefiting directly from these businesses? Those are my concerns.
What is the leadership there? Because the government said it was the leadership demonstrated by Joseph Human Boakai and his Foreign Minister Sarah Beslow Yanti, which they celebrated. What's the leadership? Did they, as far as your recollection is concerned, was it something that they've been talking about, negotiating with the United States government for extension, put aside Garcia?
This is news to me. The issue about this Garcia coming to Liberia and Liberia getting an extended visa facility is news.
So it wasn't anything that the government had earlier thought and started negotiating with the United States government.
Or else we would have heard it. There is nothing about this government that is hidden. That's the first thing. And besides that, considering the manner in which this news was spread, one thing I have always been keen of, the U.S. embassy near Monrovia reaction to anything that relates to their government, the way they treat it. The government, the U.S. embassy near Monrovia, have not been keen. I mean, they have not been explicit as it relates to the revelation made by the foreign minister and the president when it comes to this issue about the visa extension. And I have this mindset that it's like I call you and gave you a good news, and without the maturity of this news, you have already forced it out to friends who are also taking it to other friends. So there is some degree of prematurity in there, which is something that the U.S. embassy near Monrovia is not pleased with. That's what I'm thinking, because I've been checking on the U.S. embassy website. There is nothing of such as being placed on e-mansion and other government-related websites.
You are saying if there was an initial discussion with everything concluded, the U.S. government will have revealed who initiated, whether their president or Liberia, and the details surrounding that. Liberia will release the information that Boakai started the negotiation in 2024 or 2023 with the United States government for visa extension. Nothing from either parties.
Nothing from other parties.
But then why were they celebrating?
What
did they attribute it to Liberia as, Boakai as good leadership?
These are some of the things that are baffling and we are finding difficult to fathom. Because one, in maturity, people conduct themselves. In experience, people conduct themselves. There is this hype, or there was this hype about the president's experience over 40 years plus in government and with such mindset, the president should know how to conduct himself when it comes to issues of diplomacy.
Did that restore Liberia's image in the international community? But firstly, was Liberia's image not restored or damaged because they kept on using the word restore?
Restoration of Liberia or image. I don't see any restoration there. Politics aside, it's simply because these things.
What wasn't Liberia having a good relation with the international community prior to Boakai coming to power?
Liberia had a good relation with the international community, including the U.S.
So why they inserted the word restore?
Probably they feel that being political, the past government didn't do much, and so they want to take the glory. But I don't see it, and I'm still looking for it. There are a lot of Liberians out there who are looking for Liberia lost or how you got it, credibility or whatsoever relationship with the international community.
And every administration has different atmosphere, and governments around the world deal with them as per their atmosphere.
Definitely.
Back, there wasn't anything like America wanting to dump prisoners or undesirable characters out of the country. George Weah and Ellen, we had the TPS, which they had to grapple with. It was as serious as this one. And Boakai has
the extended
because of Garcia and the other people. Is it only Garcia you perceive?
There is a likelihood that if Garcia could be given the Garcia or how you got it, Sega could be giving some credence, more of such deals are going to be consummated in the future.
So for Liberia is purely the money and other things so that we prove a point to the opposition that Boakai is doing well, so we can settle.
Money is a problem right now for this government, and we see to some extent the lack of ingenuity.
But they could add substance to the 500 million that they want.
Okay,
they could say, gods, okay, America, since you have 5 other persons that you don't want on your soil, you can give those 5 persons to us. We can secure them, and we need that 500 million. They could battle that way.
But how is it likely? Have we concluded on the MCC to be able to have this 500, even though we are hearing that it's going to be, it was coming at a certain point and it didn't come, and I'm hearing that it's going to be coming in December.
Yeah, December they are having the meeting to determine
whether
enlist Liberia into the eligibility criteria.
Yeah. So we look forward to seeing that. But in the meantime, Liberia is doing something to appease the current government. Is trying to do something that will appease the U.S. to reduce their already tough stance on countries that are not doing well.
Thank you for being very exhaustive on that. Next up, they say that George Weah isn't coming back to power. He will not taste the presidency again. What do you make of that statement that they often use?
Sam, in the first place, like you put it earlier, no human determines the future of another. Only God Almighty does. President Weah is an energetic person. He's good. He just turned 59 this year. And by 2026, he's going to be like around 62 or 63. This man has proved all time that he's energetic. This government, with that mindset, George Weah is not coming back, is planning some dubious that will prevent him and some of his officials from not participating in the forthcoming 2029 elections.
You sense that
I sense that
they're going to create a heightened
they
atmosphere?
are going to create an atmosphere that will prevent some politicians from participating in the process.
And that will plunge the country into something that nobody wants.
They are not even looking at it from that standpoint. Their only aim is to ensure that this person who has been elevated and is seen as one who can restore this country to nobility should not participate in the process, because if he's given a chance, what we saw in 2017 was small. This one is going to be mammoth.
But they said they can defeat George Weah with no harassment, no intimidation, clean, free, fair, transparent elections.
But then, if that is the case, then let them leave the process open and free, and let everybody be allowed to test the water without any hindrances. But the mindset is there. All of their partisans, supporters are of the conviction that George Weah is not coming by. Why are they saying this? It's because of the plans that they have under their sleeves.
Is George Weah ready? Is the man himself ready?
See, if I'm not prepared to buy a car, let me use this analogy. Why am I going to save money to buy it? If I'm not prepared to build a house, why am I going to buy a land? He was emphatic. He said he is coming back. And only God Almighty can stop former President Weah from coming back. He's going to participate in the 2029 elections, and God's willing, he's going to win on a landslide. What we saw in 2017 was nothing. This government hasn't done much to tell Liberians that George Weah cannot come back. If they don't want him to come back, then they should put their house in order. And from what we are seeing, that house is far from being in order.
He will defeat them.
That they can rest assured.
They aren't strong enough. I'm convinced that what they often say, he will not come back.
If they were strong enough, they should forget about, it's kind of laughable that the government would be engaging in propaganda instead of the opposition doing that. They would have put their house in order, do those things that the Liberian people voted them in power for, and leave the rest with the people to decide come 2029.
What do you see them doing? Are they working? They doing anything extra?
Not from how you got a realistic standpoint. We count progress based on what you have done. We count progress based on what you have initiated. Since this government came to power, we are still looking for those projects, developmental projects that they have initiated, juxtaposed what the previous government was doing, and they had, as per the process of continuity, carry out. We have not seen much. So we are still waiting. When we had took over from the United Party government in 2018, we saw what he did in the first 1 year of his tenure. That was progress. What he made there, he completed it. Why? Delving into what he had to do for the people. So we're still looking to see what this government is doing or has done in that respect.
They've been more rhetorical than practical.
That's what we are saying. And they should forget about being rhetoric and try to face the realities.
And you agree with George Weah when he said going forward up to 2029, he will be fully engaged with the Congress of Democratic Change and the politics of the day. Have a listen.
I will remain actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change. I will remain actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change.
That is very significant if it will make any difference with a possible win.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to listen to some analysts over the days. They said that one of the advantages that George Weah has, he hasn't distanced himself from the people of Liberia. He's always in the country. Unlike the others, when they win, they are for 1 year, 2 years. When the elections are coming closer, then they come. But he remains in the country. And with that, it is an advantage.
You could say that over and over again, Sam. The former president is engaged with his people. He comes from a downtrodden background, and he knows what it means for someone to go without eating for a day. He knows that there are people in communities who lack basic necessities, the basic necessities of life. And he uses his time to identify with those people in every way possible. On the 18th of last month, what we saw at the groundbreaking was just a testament of his commitment to being with the people and engaging the politics of the day. CDC headquarters that they cherish so much, the previous one was demolished based on political grounds. But at the same time, it did not break seditions. It rather strengthened their resolve that our commitment to this cause is not rooted in bricks, but rather in ideology and our innate passion for this organization. And that's what we have exhibited over the period.
That's good. Good to hear that. And his presence in the country means a lot in terms of stability, security, everything.
Of course, it means a lot. It does mean a lot because sometimes seditions are provoked and would dare to take actions. But the moment he hears it, as the political leader, he reminds them that he's a man of peace. And if they want the country to go forward, the need to exercise restraint cannot be overemphasized. So they should live within the confines of the law. That was also manifested or exhibited at the demolition and the eviction and demolition of our former HQ.
Why George Weah and the opposition cannot be as radical as these Unity Party people in opposition were?
I think everyone have a different approach to things. And that has been exhibited from from 2006 up to 2017, and even in opposition, even in position, you would agree with me that even as having the country honor his leadership during the campaign, we saw the way the opposition conducted themselves, with the police being very calm and respectful to them. Unlike in other times, it would have been worse. How can a police that is being paid by taxpayer money be used to manhandle those very people?
But God's George Weah regime, we are aware. I saw it from the very first day to the day George Weah exited. From the very first day George Weah took the oath, Unity Party was on his back 24/7 with protests all over the place, created instability of all kind, insecurity, so much so that the international community saw Liberia as like almost into a war.
Yes. Yeah. That's why I said some people have different approach. But then it is just CDC. So other political parties are in Liberia too. Despite CDC being a major opposition and wouldn't follow the same footsteps as what we saw the United Party carry out during the period CDC was in power. What happened to those other political parties? Are they waiting for CDC to take the lead before? Because being vocal is one thing. Being vocal is one thing. And being radical is another thing. CDC hasn't been radicalized from time immemorial. They have been vocal. It reached a certain point where people who find themselves as seditious were not being given the consideration to carry out actions, who dare to join with other groupings to carry out the actions that they feel that they should carry out. We saw that. But for us, from a CDC perspective, to carry out any kind of act of radicality, we didn't see it.
What should George Weah do, or what you think Weah is thinking? But I know you'll find it a bit hard to wrap your head around that one. So I wanted you to explain what he really, you can preempt that what he's thinking now going into 2039. And the question is premised on the fact that it is a reality, it is a truth that he had some Judases within his cycle, and they just really didn't help him. Going into 2029, what he needs to do?
Like you said, it's a very difficult question.
Yeah, you can wrap your head around it.
So I would say the president first conceded when he came to the realization that all of the efforts he made, there were some Judases in his camp. I mean, people who didn't work in the interest of the party in Liberia, but were self-serving. And he has come to realize that those people exist. And it's obvious in every organization, you will find people of such character. Main things he's aware that they are there, and he's going to be low-key in dealing with them when such a time comes.
And the opposition, you think there is a need for opposition unity?
That cannot be overemphasized. We saw.
But look at the atmosphere right now. Look at the atmosphere. You see a disconnect instead of a connection.
Yeah.
Now, if it remains this way into 2026 and 2027, before anybody can realize or talk about opposition synergy, it will be late. And you know that no government, no ruling government wants a strong opposition.
Yeah, I really don't know what the opposition community is thinking. But like I earlier said, the need for an opposition unity cannot be overemphasized. They have to collectively engage the government so as to have the government doing those things that she promised the people, and where she faltered, they should bring her to check.
You have political parties coming up. There are very many now in the opposition. You have CMC, you have other political parties. Yeah. And they need to come together, but they will need somebody to take the lead. And everybody is looking up to CDC.
As the major opposition political party.
And so the burden now, or the responsibility, shifts on George Weah.
George Weah. And like he, it just came to my mind, like he one time put it, he's not a politician. And there are these issues that must be done or dealt with politically. Most especially when it comes to moving a country forward, and the ruling party is not doing those things that is expected of her or are expected of her, then the opposition need to put their feet down and rally their efforts to keep the ruling party's feet to the fire.
Did they affect defection from CDC, those individuals who defected? Did it work for CDC good?
To some extent, because betrayal is something that nobody can countenance or nobody want to embrace. You cannot be living with somebody, the person open their heart to you, and then when their back is turned to you, you are stabbing them. What is the cost or what is the profit that two of the major defectives get? Right now, of recent, we have been hearing that there are plans to oust the current deputy speaker, who happens to be one of the defectives. You see that?
So it only shows that they were there, but not with that party loyally, that party zest. It wasn't, they were only there for the dollars.
You can say that again, because for all the records can attribute to, from 2005 to 2024, the two major defectees have grown suddenly rich. They have become famously rich because of their alignment with CDC. And these are people that CDC need.
Let's go to the legislature, one or three components, and that is the first branch of government. What's your observation? You've been following the legislature.
So we have a speaker who comes out and say we need to have a regime.
But overall, has the legislature been up to the task? Have they been performing before you get to the speaker?
In a topsy-turvy faction, up and down. Those people are there, 73 representatives are there not for the government. When I say not for the government, they are administrator of the government. They are there for the government in terms of the people they represent. And if the views and aspirations of those people cannot be fully represented, what's the need of keeping them there? Right now we have this issue about Oronto.
Yeah, the Oronto ordeal.
Oronto is not new to Liberia. a Nigerian came to Liberia, paid $200,000 for all blacks, flipped them, and became almost $200 million rich. Was that in the interest of Liberians?
And the same thing is happening in this deal.
So that brings the question, what are they doing in terms of representing the interests of the people? Because at the end of the day, you make a foreigner rich and your people live in destitution. What kind of representation are you making? Signing deals that ties the country to getting nothing, or years and years and years, with the country getting only peanuts. Whereas if those deals were in the interest of the people, you'd be making millionaires in Liberia. You can't go to Nigeria and do that kind of foolishness because it's complete, it's complete foolishness. You can't go to Ghana and do it. You can't go to Sierra Leone, next to Liberia, and do it. You can't go to Guinea and do it. It happens only in Liberia. Those kinds of things. And unfortunately, all of those kinds of ugly deeds, all has happened or are expected to happen under a United Party-led regime. Orondo came under the UP regime, where it is claimed.
And that's why they are back. Because when they were in power, Unity Party, 12 years, Oranto was the one. That's how they duped them.
Yeah.
And then Bwaga is there now. They know that he is a puppet of a president, so they come back.
Yeah. And that's where the question is begging. Why only 10? Why can't we do the right thing that will cause the general population to benefit? Even though it's not possible, 100% possible for a deal to benefit the entire the entire population, but it to a large extent affect a huge chunk of the population.
But does it surprise you? The speaker branded himself regime speaker, and he was clear that everything Bwaka wants, it will pass through that place. So is it a surprise?
Certainly not. The only thing we can say is that we are in a dilemma. Until this government is dethroned, we are in a complete dilemma. The president was able to get the Senate, to get the lower house, to get the judiciary on his wings.
That was a massive mistake by the opposition. They did not see. They weren't really calculating. Now it's difficult because he controls both houses.
Obviously. And said, I don't know where representation came or was hiding at the time. Because somebody should have been there to have a second thought. Somebody should have been there to have a second thought. And then we all witnessed how things played out with the dethronement of the previously elected speaker. We saw how they concocted their plans, how they executed the plans, how the executive lent every support the current speaker has to let's say carry out his maneuvers. It was explicit. It was glaring that the executive was wholly and solely behind the dethronement of the former speaker.
Going into 2029, with Joseph Ima Bwaga and Unity Party controlling both houses of the legislature, will it have any impact on the opposition negatively?
It depends on who's playing. If the president was able to get the Senate, to get the lower house, to get the judiciary on his wings, It depends on who's playing. Despite them being in leadership, that does not dictate who goes where. The opposition just have to be strong, strategize well, execute their plans, and leave the rest with the electorates.
The government came out recently with a litany. Let me not say litany because few, litany very many, but few that in just under 2 years, they've done so much than George Weah. 6 years, even though technically Weah had 4 years. It wasn't 6 years. Look at the start of COVID-19 and the close of COVID-19. Weah had 4 years to operate. They said they've maintained a peaceful atmosphere. There's security, there's stability, there is water all over the place. It is stable. Electricity is stable. Rice in the market. Just put it in a nutshell. The economy is stable. It's booming. Everything is okay. You agree with that?
It's difficult to agree with. The government cannot take credit for the peace that we are enjoying right now. They certainly cannot. The opposition, headed by the foremost opposition political party, CDC, is actually the one keeping the peace in the country currently, headed by the former president, George Weah. If President Weah wanted to be reckless, if he wanted to be unpatriotic, if he wanted to be unpeaceful, this country, this government will not find peace. The Bible says, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. The government had barely sat in 2018 when there were plans on the way to instigate protest. We saw through the tenure of the former regime how many protests the opposition, including Unity Party, carried out. Do you think?
They said they weren't part of those protests.
Except we are living on a different planet to agree with them. We are living on a different planet and not here to agree with them.
But they had the people at every press conferences justifying, defending.
So that speaks to the lie that they are pushing, that they were not part of those protests. The economy, how can the economy be stable or stabilized when commodities, basic commodities, are at sky or level? The last time I checked, the president asked that Obega should be sold for $14. Before coming, I bought a bag of rice for $15. Just today, I paid $15 for a bag of rice. The guy said $2,900. So it's slightly above. In fact, $15 is $2,007, so it's $16. If you take it at 2, if you just take it at 200 rate, the dollar will be the 200 will be $1, so it will be $16.
Do you have running water in your area? Pipe-borne water?
There's tank that was built by the European Union some
Do
years
you
back.
do you have pipe-borne water in your area?
Yes, I can say.
Do you use pipe-borne water?
Pipe-borne water from here.
You have faucet?
No, not in my house, and not in my community.
But the people said that your house, your community, has pipe-borne water. So that's what I'm asking you.
He said it not. And interestingly, I listened to the Minister of Finance the other day where he said that what we used to see people pushing they push around Monrovia with gallons is no longer existent. And I was very unfortunate to get online to rebuke him that day. Because even right behind the Ministry of Finance, as we speak, you go there, you see some of those trolleys with gallons of water in them. How many homes on the average? Because if we should speak to that, and speaking from the how it's affecting people on the average, water is not existing in homes.
So you don't have pipe-borne water in your community?
There is no house in my community having pipe-borne water.
But Mo Ali said that you people water all over the place. Pipe-borne, you just open the faucet.
Maybe
you telling me different thing?
Maybe when they talk about it, when they install them overnight, but they are invisible implements. That's what I would say.
The current is regular in your area?
Yes, to some extent, because it goes off once in a while, or to a large extent, is regular. And I think all credit goes to the fact that we are still in the rain season. We'll be leaving the rain season, so we want to see what becomes of the stability of the current when the dry season is at its peak.
What is your position on Brian McGill and the police director who was accused of allegedly raping a 14-year-old girl? It seems he's been set free, exonerated rather.
Yes.
Did the police conduct did they follow the ethical administrative standard, or it was purely partisan?
I think it was largely partisan, and this is something that I really pained me. I have two daughters. I have lots of female relatives. I mean, children, and I will not be happy to hear that any one of my relatives were raped. Let's just say a 14-year-old. But then there's a high degree of hypocrisy in this country. When issue of purported rape of Justina Taylor came to the fore during the George Weah regime, we saw women. We saw people take to the street in protest. If Justina Taylor, as an adult female, could get that kind of support, what happens to a 14-year-old girl? What happens to a 14-year-old? And her case is just one out of so many.
The man himself is set free. Even though the police director said there was evidence that she was tampered with, he comes back somewhat certain that they needed prima facie evidence. They are still investigating, and then he comes up that they have not found anything. Every investigation showed that he wasn't on the scene. Simply put, that J. Brian McGill was lying on. But in the meantime, the same police director said a guy they carried to jail, I think, one Kromau. He said
from Agriculture Ministry.
Yes. He said people told them that they saw the guy going in this house. 2-3 persons confirmed. Based on that, the guy was found guilty of raping the lady in South Beach. The police, security people, I don't know whether you have security knowledge, but if you, but those are the things that you say. Brian McGill, he said no evidence. They needed prima facie, and then on the other side, he concluded on yes.
So that's the situation we find ourselves in. If you are privileged to find yourself in certain cycle, you are given preferential treatment. If you are unfortunate to find yourself in certain cycles, you have to face the law, exonerate yourself.
So you are convinced that 2029 Joseph Iman Boakai is out and he's going out?
I am 110% convinced that even if he stood the chance to run, if he decide to run in 2029,
he wouldn't run.
There are speculations that he might not run, but if he did,
you convinced that he will run?
I'm convinced that he's going to run because there is something about power. There is something about power. When people taste power, they don't want to leave it. And despite his frailty prior to taking power, he has managed to gain some energy. And
natural energy?
Whether natural or synthetic.
Medical energy?
Whether any one of the two, I am convinced he's going to take part.
If he doesn't participate or contest 2029, can anyone or Jeremiah Kong or anyone defeat George Weah?
It's going to be Herculean.
Boakai himself can defeat George Weah. So let's put him out of the equation. I'm not convinced that Joseph Yema Boakai will contest 2029. No, I'm not convinced. And not that we don't want him to contest. We want him to contest, but he's not going to contest. Between now and 2029, he would not be in the position where, and I know that they're trying, like you said, they're pumping him medically, but here is the side effect of medical stuff. The more you pump, the more the side effect becomes inelastic. I know that he might want to take on the posture of Paul Biya, but let's see how it goes. But I'm not convinced with such frailty he will contest. Yeah. All right, guys, let's get to the line. Let's have your say. You're watching and listening to Real Talk on Kings 88.5. My guest is Liberian politician God's Help. He is with me this afternoon talking all things the politics of Liberia. You want to have your say now, but before then, let's see some of the comments. Matthew Choloplay is following the conversation. He said, let Unity Party just try anything foolish. They will see what will happen. Reference in 2029. He also said this useless government came to power with lies. So they will continue to be lying to the Liberian people because the Liberian people like to believe in lies. Lucien Vanning said, Boakai is a failure and we know it, but Liberians never listen. Now they are all in tears. Boakai is evil and he doesn't care about the people. 0772-23-99-33 0772-23-99-33 077-9803-75, the numbers to have your say. Hello. Hey, cut off the radio, Chief. Cut off the radio.
Sorry.
Yeah.
This is our tool. Calling from Jacob Town, Riha. Then I do all your talk. Will not go in, my brother, my son. Chemical generally, your talk will not go in on no condition. Say I do the thing we see the 9 year or the year 2029. So we are feeling we. The job the road on him. The reason being is we are now on a war. But when they play the freezer in the project, with the class. People like us will just clap our best to go to catch our vote. But behind the vote, while we come from there, we will clap them. Thank you so much in Jesus' mighty name.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, let me say hi to God. And yeah, man, that's a great show. And God, this is Edmund Carr, and I'm the visually impaired that keeping this unprepared to the fire to deliver it. If the Unity Party people that do have this country at heart, they should be thinking of what happened, you know, for the country's sake. The Democrat eyes, they are sort better to stand down and let somebody else to carry the country on. Because looking at what are this 2025, 2026, 2027, it's not going to be easy for him. But they are going to try at all costs to force him because right now there is nobody trusted around him that can talk to him and say, hey, oh man, you need to lead this thing, is for their own benefit, it's not you. We are aware that they are doing everything that they can, whether to deny us before even registration time or every other thing that they are planning, even when they vote a chaos. Yeah, we are not saying they will not do it. But if they are planning doing it, they should be aware that the moment that you vote a chaos and you do what you want to do, be aware that once you want to deny the Liberian people whatsoever they have fought for, rather show that you are going to be out of it, and CDC is going to be out of it. Neutral party is going to be taking over and then new arrangement for election. We are aware of that. So we are not going to take anything like from Unity Party come 2029. So whatsoever they are planning, we are ahead of them and preparing more than they do. So thank you very much.
Hello. Hello. Cut the radio off, Chief. When you're about to call, you cut the radio off. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Mr.
Yeah.
Station great from Dubu.
Yeah.
Let me say hi to God. Let me say thank you for the time.
How you doing?
Yeah, God. Let me say thank you for everything you said. You said it right. God. What are people planning to do? That what they are putting in their chat room and telling it in their own faces. They know Baka can make it. But Miss Auntie, let me tell you today, they will force that in there, they will tell you to contest. And get a strong conviction that Baka will contest on it now. But they know nobody there to match up with, they will force it. They will force it to contest. You know the man? They can control him by hand. They will say, Papa, go there. Once you go there, contest. You the only person that can stay up. Every day that supporter talking it, say they force to win. You thought that say they will move for 200 years. 200 years? You thought that you know why you talking? Your second live for that year. They say you win for 200 years in the country, President Andrew. Waiting to see that one. Waiting to see it. That's how we reach. Thank you, Mr. Andrew.
Hello. 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 You are on the air, Chief. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Let's hear you.
This is Mr. Bova, sitting for New Montana Estate.
Mr. Who?
Mr. Bova.
Yeah.
Speaking for New Montana Estate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you very much this afternoon for this fine conversation. These are the one that we like. But I will tell you, it is no joke that CDC will never make it. This party, the Unity Party government, is not a funk, it's not cheering government. You are saying over there, you see it. You are only making us to talk with you.
Oh.
But I will tell you today.
But
if you compare,
but United Party government, but that cheering government. That you can hear your George Weah coming by, you can hear them by way.
Listen now, let me bring my own update you, Baba.
My man, you got nothing to say. You got nothing to say.
I don't have nothing to say. We are not a people that are going to work and just use war and not that we want to.
That was move from here, man. You get mental problem. Yeah, you got nothing to say. The other people, you let the body people using your. Let's say that in your corner. Hello.
Hello, Shandu.
Yeah.
I'm really calling from Tanso, West Point.
Let's hear you.
August, I'm really calling from West Point. Are you coming on screen?
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Friends, the people that are wasting their time. 2029, the lower house will take off. The representative senator will get it higher. By grace of God. And we are coming 2029. Victory. One run. Victory. It will come with no second run. By God, with long life. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, I think
Yeah.
this is Marcy on the line of sister for the
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, let me say as my brother is if they think I'm going to talk long today, because I'm not well. If they think they will come here or will discussing good issues, they come and bring nonsense, they won't want it, please. If you want to hear about CDC or George, we are coming back, stay in your vacuum. You want to see Bible, you are coming back, stay in your corner. You want to come here and the show. We beg you, I can tell God won't go say to us, say, oh, this and that. We beg you, please, stay in your corner. You want to hear you are coming back, play for now, and that is fast. Stay in your corner and don't listen. When I'm calling you, go to school. Now, I will support you to causing you to the up and down, because my causing part of them. Go listen to school. Go listen to your what was lies here when he will rap quite class.
Mazi, you know what happening now? The people leaving the show, people running away from the mail. The men are dictator. The men are dictator. When you disagree with him, then he cut off. He call you off. Yeah. So people leaving. They live in spoon turn and they forming their own thing. Man, the men are smart. The men know that we're in the age of technology. You can sit down, you call your friend, you put your dinner together, you on the screen. Yeah, you just feel that he alone get that thing. He won't get his friend to talk when the president hold it. Oh my man, give me chance. Give me chance. Let me talk. He talk whole day. So they living him. All the men are living him. Everybody living the man. Hello.
Samandro.
Yeah.
How are you doing, my brother?
They're doing good.
Let me take this time to congratulate your man, my brother, Jay Augustus.
Hey, Shago.
Congratulations, brother. You have laid the basis.
You're welcome, bro.
I only want to tell the Unity Party people that we are going to beat them face down comes 2029. If they like, they can take all the strengths of President Weah, because they have gone to France, they went to Dubai. I think they're coming to go to Israel now. And we are going to beat them face down. Look, this president is traveling and coming back with nothing. 24 travels and bringing back nothing. Could you imagine that? Our taxpayers' money is just going in vain? My brother, it's so sorrowful, man. Liberia is doomed. Thank you very much, brother.
Okay. Let's go this way. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, you speaking with Jonah Bala.
Yeah, let's hear you, Jonah.
Yeah, I speaking with Jonah Bala from New Mactari. I have a leg problem. I was listening to the radio and I have a leg problem. The way in which you talked to the callers there, it didn't went down well with me. And that person I was calling it was my uncle.
Huh?
Yeah.
But you think
it was my uncle that was talking.
But that relative protection.
He was explaining everybody will never get a sin, sir.
I mean, move from here, man. You think that relative protection, yeah? Yeah. Hello?
Good afternoon. Yeah, I come here.
Yeah. You think we're protecting relative,
yeah? Go ahead, everybody.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah. Thank you for your top-down discussion. My name is Vanny Kiadi, one day then we are saying follower of Abraham Gosling Williams. So I said, let me tell you, these people then they had nothing to show the brand people. Because the time the people that used to cajole at people, a lot of the people never don't watch. But this time, inside the old man, they are very well in their thinking. Because a lot of technology will not exist. You can't lie to the people you say you're facing road, you're not facing road. You can't lie to the people, all the things that you're doing, we are following and we know the reality. So you can't lie to us. So when you say you're working, you will stay in power. Yeah, let's see. If the Liberia people will agree for you, you want to spend 100 years in power, the Liberia people will agree for you to spend 100 years in power. We the one get the power. We only give it to you for you to hold it. So all I think when they're talking, for me in my community, I can tell them, you want to spend 100 years and you can spend it when the Liberia people agree. So nothing you can tell, oh, no.
Okay.
We are resolved. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah, how you doing, fine?
Deconti? Lower your radio. Lower your radio.
Yes. One of the things we stressed on that the people say we will not come back sit on the night because they got some things going on the street. Yes, I started in a conversation before to a party. But then the person said that by 2027, 2028, we will start putting charges on we are people on we are tap money and things so they can bring them down, that they will not be able to run campaign for we are 2029. But I can assure them that we the Liberian, we are tired and we are ashamed, we will get on our feet, we will do Jehovah Witness campaign. So come 2029, they should get ready for us. We're waiting to one company and we'll be there for we are without looking at their saying wherever they want to, they will do it. But as for 2026 to 2029, we get our feet to run our Jehovah Witness campaign for we are. We don't care, but all we know we are is coming back 2029. Thank you.
Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Andrew.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, Sam Johnson speaking for Taratan, Jawia Chigisu. We tell you the Taratan Jawia is coming back. And Jawia is coming back 100%, no joke about it. When we are telling that, we are telling me, I say, yeah, Jawia don't have to tell me, I tell myself. But I will tell you, Jawia is coming back. So nothing else can stop it. I thank you.
So, that Jawia Chigisu you get?
Jawia Chigisu, that man need a quiet clarity of vote. I say we're looking for the problem for Jawia every day.
But
on the street.
What does chicken soup mean?
The chicken soup, the sweetest thing for Jawia.
Nice one,
Yeah.
thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello. Hello. Madam, you are on the air. Madam, you are on the air. The women's line.
Hello?
Okay, yo.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh. Ma Anita coming in here as Jawia man. From the things what I'm asking. Why? Them Andrew, you will be happy of Waka not coming back. Where he's so creative, where they can pull it in his nose. The people because they were pulling in his nose.
No, Anita. I'm not doubting that I'm not coming back. I'm doubting that the men are going to contest. I'm not doubting. I am saying that the men will not contest. I'm talking on medical ground. And the second thing is, when they were in opposition, I get the clips. I will bring it tomorrow. They used to say, Joe, we will not contest 2023. They used to say, let me get you one man. Let me get you one of 3 men. Sheikh Mustafa Kuyate. That's why he used to say, Joe, we will not contest. And you get reason. So I'm saying that Boaga will not contest. And I have my reason.
Okay. You see, I know why they worry about my son. My son not coming back. Why they worry about my son? Why they worry about him or he not coming back? He will not. He will not. And we will pray by the grace of God. Pray
pray for long life. God will give us long life. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you, Mama. Hello. Yes.
How are you?
Cut your radio off, then.
Yeah, it's off now.
Yeah.
I'm calling you from the photo. You know, anytime when they hear Joey come in, they can be scared.
You can head and by way.
They can have power with my brother. And let me tell them, the way we the king power we know. They will not see that they stand around and will happy. They can't defeat Joey and say Andrew. Joey is the big executive of our politics. We the citizen, we protect our vote. Say Andrew.
But
that's not depending on say.
My man, the people say they will prevent a man from contesting because they are afraid of him.
Who want Joey when kind of drop politics for now? Joey has given the two. And let me conclude on and say Andrew. They say the soul of the fuck can always located to snake. That's why I will tell you the party. Thank you for following the time.
Okay, Ebikale. A few more, then God can respond. Just 2 or 3 or hello. Hello. Yeah.
Okay. My name is Sam. Testimony charge. I have to call you from Chefata. Thank you, Mr. Andrew, for your talking point. You know, the fellow that fall from I don't know, Labasi or Machade. You really wasted time to call that man.
Oh, man, forget about that man.
The first of all, the man okay the phone, and you know that when you okay the phone, you're supposed to talk. He deliberately refused that you were on the line, started giving the children were on the background, talking, and then you waited ever so long before you can start talking about that.
Man, that frustrated Unity Party partisan, your leader, man. You're both frustrated.
Yeah. You see, like you were saying, relating to the man business and Stanton Waterspoon. Stanton Waterspoon see that every voice that comes from his mouth is a gospel. So based upon that, he loves to play a dictatorship role in the life of his friends on our Spoon network. And just days ago, one of the panelists were on the phone. Even
Chief, that man that just said that thing. Chief, listen, now I'm concerned with that thing. I think now my discussion to Man CC. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, how are you, sir? Hello, you getting me?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. Okay, I want to say hi to your studio guest. I'm Dr. William Sanfe, calling from Lower Margini. Yeah, I want to agree with it with the main studio. We have been sitting in galleries. I've been hearing about the Unity Party are planning, and so we shouldn't come back, and they will make sure 2027, 2028, they make sure and start locking most of the people that behind Jovia. You start putting them in jail. Jovia have the to run a campaign. So let me add on the low. Let me tell the UPs. Let me tell the UPs. They are not more traveling than us. But just because I was leader, we are quiet. But come 2029, if they try anything like bro, there'll be no laptop again. Thank you.
You join Joe Waga? Joe Waga said there'll be no laptop. Cut off your radio, madam. No. The radio can be loud. You call. Before you call, I know that you're monitoring. So when you're about to dial the number, then you lower the radio.
Even get from
here. Yeah, move from there. You lower, you move from there. When you finish, then you can call. Because it will affect you too. Nobody will understand you. You will not even understand yourself. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
She had to talk about topic on a discussion and think about my zero gear. And she had to, where they are scared. Because you're the momentum that make it, and that's why I call it for me country. Who's scared?
But you come to the go place, oh, if I the meta and me not coming back to it, I get it a lot. Is that I need a my son I need after Joe. I want to look at it.
We are
we are to look. I just want to see
we are
my son needed. Are you playing to Joe the steam?
All right.
The post care.
Okay.
You could not talking.
All right. We are in Boaga who tired. You see Boaga tired. Boaga very, very tired. Boaga is very tired. He won't rest, but no way.
There's no way to rest in the
we are is energetic. We are getting work from his house, rehab, all the way on Broad Street. Boaga can walk from the last time the man going for cabinet meeting and looking at me, man, almost fair. The man, you guys, ain't no stingray.
Yeah.
That's good. Are we so what? Ain't no stingray is a move. How do they if you want to say, John, we are sick. We are not sick, man.
Interested in the collecting or how you call it? Yeah, generated stuff. Put me on laptop and us. Oh, we are.
Yeah, man. You see the man. The man already looking that kind of way. There you say. We are.
Kalasco first the other day. He posted that training section. See the men to sit up.
Yeah. Right after that, they saw it. Okay, let's go. This one that we out. Hello, madam, you are on. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for.
Who?
I'm waiting.
Change your location. Your network not too.
Okay.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, fine, yo.
Yeah. What I was saying is that don't make fun out of the people.
Oh, my man, you come out.
CDC will never ever come back. I'm telling you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, go.
Thank you. Yeah, in you, Jesus Christ. Hello. Frustration, you take down before you fall down in your house, something happened to you. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, I'm out the look come on now. You know, 2027. Let anybody try it. Waka gonna try, Waka said try, say you arrest any minister in any way I put lemon. He said we put an engine. Me, I will be naked the other woman for me. I want on the all the time.
But that little thing, you didn't go crazy. They're not crazy to do that thing.
They can't try it. It can't happen. It can't happen. The one we are not, they're lying. What they're doing for, they're speaking with Sophie or trying to go into school, no to eat. Them the money be there to this thing and all resources. They can't, they go from very so very in Ghana now. What is bringing for nothing? The friend can't not bringing nothing. Go kill it, say, go treat. Thank you, Papa.
Thank you so much. You're doing well. Thank you. You're doing extremely well. You're the mayor. The mayor is that sick mayor. You're listening to the sick mayor. The sick man can shout like they scream. God's got a sick man, yo. Let's have your response, God.
Yes, let me say thanks so much for the calls that came in and all those who spoke positively towards our cause. This mindset, like we said earlier, is being there. I think it's something that is being inculcated into the heads of the willing idiots, as teacher like usually refer to them. How can one individual determine the fate of an entire political party, most especially the most popular Liberian? It's on record. George Weah is the most popular Liberian on the surface of the earth. If there's any other Liberian who is most popular than him, let him show that person. George Weah is coming back 2029. And he's not just coming back, he's coming in full force. He's moving at full throttle. And if there's anything that is standing his way, that thing is going to be demolished. Besides that, we have people who will call to distract the calls. And you don't give credence to those people. If we must move this country forward, we're speaking to issues, you don't have anything to contribute, just stay mute, listen, and then swallow your pain because you won't be able to express it to any one of us. That's how much I can say. Thanks so much, Sam, for the invite.
Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much for coming into. So it is a foregone conclusion that we are returning to the presidency 2029. No, nothing absolutely. Be assured, nothing absolutely Unity Party government and Joseph Boakai can do to prevent George Weah from contesting. They cannot import the Tanzania atmosphere into this country. They cannot import the Cameroonian atmosphere. They cannot import the Djibouti atmosphere. They cannot import the Guinean atmosphere in this country. This is a democratic culture. Democratically, Boakai won. Democratically, George Weah handed over the reign. Democratically, Boakai will be defeated. Democratically, Boakai will be defeated. Weah returns to the presidency. The last thing that Unity Party will ever attempt to do, the last thing they will ever attempt to do, which they should never even think about it, to cause any stupid thing in this country of doing this and doing that to prevent anybody from contesting. Boakai was never prevented from contesting. Nobody prevented anybody from the angle. All of them contested democratically. They won as per their seats. He won the presidency. So the last thing they will ever want to do is to temper. You can put all the security measures in place. You can bring all the Trump charges. You can do anything you want to do. Nobody in this country can stop George Weah or anybody within George Weah ranks from contesting 2029. Nobody. The only person that can say George Weah will not contest, and even at that, he will beg George Weah and allow George Weah to see reason that go. Only God. He will allow George Weah to see reason. That means he will beg George Weah. And not begging that he will say, my son, this is it, this is well, that only person. But God does not interfere. He does not meddle in politics. No. The Bible is clear on that. He people to exercise their will. Nobody anywhere, whether in Unity Party circle, outside Unity Party circle, government, whatever, nobody can prevent George Weah. Nobody can prevent anybody within the cycle of George Weah from contesting 2029. Whatever you're thinking, you drop that thinking immediately, because at the close of the day, you people will feel the effect and you people will regret it and say, no, that's it. Well, leave it there. Say, hint to a wives. It's quite sufficient. A hint to a wives. It's quite sufficient. That's it. God, I show you got this? Do you have this, God?
CDC coming again. Drawing blueprints, breaking ground.
Joe, you get it, Dado? Man, you be on time.
It's a redemption day. Wagwan must struggle. Wagwan revolution, people.
So get on the dance floor. This is how we go home.
Now ready?
Celebrate. Enjoy your day. Enjoy.
Let's go.
got shaky. Yeah, you like that fire? Let's go.
I'm on the Blue Revolution. You ready? CDC, you ready? Let's go.
So that's how we go home on the show. Real Talk on Kings 88.5. The news comes on at 6. Join us for 8. Kings Newsroom. And then at 8 o'clock, the doctor himself is in, the teacher of the line, the only teacher of the line, the only light, Anthony at Law, A.B. Wade, with Face the Issues.
We did it before and we can do it again. The men them from evil, them from the